The headlines across Google News about it are probably almost as common as the entire Cablegate headlines itself. The headlines I'm referring to are WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange lands on Interpol's most wanted list on rape charges. And they are plentiful. It first began about August 21 with claims that Julian Assange had raped two women in Sweden who turned out to know each other, the women, that is. A warrant was issued when they finally overcame what they said was their fear of Julian and the power he supposedly wields, but withdrawn hours later. Recently, around November 18th to be exact, another warrant was issued and Interpol placed him on their most wanted list. The Swedish prosecution are on a hunt and wish to speak to Assange, but Assange's lawyer, James Caitlin, says they have offered to talk. He has the right not to say anything, but has offered several times via person, telephone, video conference, email, or even visiting the embassy and writing a sworn statement. All of these offers have been flatly refused by a prosecutor who he says is abusing her powers. It is important to note that Anna Arden was interrogated formally a day after making her claim, and that this was done via telephone. Thanks to the internet, we are able to look at one of the women, brush the surface maybe, who are accusing him of rape, and you will find it probably very interesting. On her using very clever tactics, Göran Rudling, whose original page I'll link to in the description, was able to get the following tweets that seem to be deleted by Miss Anna. They read, on Saturday the 14th of August at 2 p.m, she wrote, "Julian wants to go to a crayfish party. Anyone have a couple of available seats tonight or tomorrow?" And then early on the morning of Sunday the 15th of August at 2 a.m, she says, "Sitting outdoors and hardly freezing with the world's coolest, smartest people. It's amazing." He makes a rather smart observation just under these pages. It is not common for victims of crime to go around deleting tweets. So these tweets were deleted, but she missed the fact that these tweets are reposted on a blog. A fatal mistake which she corrected only after realizing, which was after she was questioned over them on said blog. Then comes something slightly bigger. If you know that the reported molestation takes place on the night towards 14th of August, then it all becomes easier to understand. The tweets actually indicate that Anna really liked Julian and that there had been no molestation 24 hours earlier. So on the 15th of August, Anna was sitting with the world's coolest, smartest people, one of which was the one who raped her. The tweets don't match Anna's story given to the police on the 20th of August, so the likely case is that she simply deleted them. The case becomes even more questionable with Assange's lawyer in London, who worked with him in October, reveals in a letter to Australian media website Crikey. Their SMS texts to each other show a plan to contact the Swedish newspaper Expressen beforehand in order to maximise the damage to Assange. The exact content of the other victim, Weiland's mobile phone text, is not yet known, but their bragging rights and exculpatory character has been confirmed by Swedish prosecutors. After they contacted the newspaper Expressen and reporter Nicholas Svensson, a colleague of Svensson's rang up the police to find out if the story was true. Violating the rules of that office, the reporter was told that it was true. In addition to this, Assange's lawyer adds, "Neither of the two women complained to the police, but rather sought advice, which is a technique in Sweden enabling citizens to avoid just punishment for making false complaints. In addition to this, the fact that the victims knew each other and talked before surely would mean that any evidence would surely be tainted if they were given the chance to corroborate their stories." Interestingly, her blog reveals she has 7 legal steps for gaining revenge on lovers. If the rape charges turn out to be fake and are dismissed, which according to Assange's lawyer is probably likely, it is just another case of the double standards of those that consider themselves morally righteous. The fact that Interpol have Julian Assange on their most wanted list for breaking a condom and having unprotected sex, when the apparent victims are friends, collaborated, bragged, and deleted potential evidence that would show the supposed victims' mindsets, is more than a little confusing and reeks just a little of persecution. I strongly suggest you check out the links in the description. They are far more in depth. I think I am more inclined to agree with James Caitlin. It is not Julian Assange that is on trial here, but Sweden and its reputation as a modern and model country with rules of law. In closing, what these women are doing, if it turns out to be false and dismissed, is using rape as an instrument of revenge. Rape is a serious matter, and using it in this manner is not only the cheapest, lowest act a self-proclaimed feminist could probably do, but an affront to real rape victims everywhere.